What's going on, everyone? We are back with another episode of the JDA show, episode 10. You know who we are. Dick, Jesse, Andy. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Episode 10. We made it to double digits.
10
we didn't
episodes
get
without me or
canceled.
Jesse killing each other. That's
hey,
impressive.
You know, I've been taking it easy on them, so that might happen sometime. But
So, on today's agenda, we're going to start off talking some NBA. Since last we've talked, the NBA's coming back end of July, a little over a month and a half away.
Theoretically.
They should be back.
Theoretically, it's coming back.
I don't even want to... And no negative thoughts. They're coming back end of July.
We need it, so...
After that, we're going to get into a top 10 all-time discussion. I think last episode, me and Andy got into a little debate. I said Drew Brees wasn't a top 10 quarterback. So we're going to do our top 10 quarterbacks of all time and also our top 10 NBA players of all time. After that, we're going to talk a little UFC. There's been some discussion with Conor McGregor and some other stuff. Then, based on the 30 for 30 that just came out by ESPN, we're going to talk steroids and baseball. We're going to do a little check-in, too, on what our opinion is if baseball's coming back.
Or if we care, once again.
That too, yeah. And things are kind of heating up in discussions between the MLB and the Players Union. Then we're going to do a betting segment. Jesse's going to love it. Premier League edition.
Sir.
Premier League came
We're back
yesterday.
I was worried
Bunch
it
of
was gonna
games
get
this
canceled.
weekend. Then I'm really excited for this. We're going to do Boston sports trivia.
So first,
10 questions.
JDA show first.
Yeah, it's going to be Jesse versus Andy. Winner takes on me.
Yep.
Episodes to come, and then if we have any time for some off topic,
I wish I knew about that. I wish I kind of knew about
What? That'd be cheating if you were studying Boston sports
I kind
history.
of need to study.
I mean, I had 10 questions. You think you would have been able to, like,
We're coming in
Yeah,
blind.
I would have read up on
I think it's even better. We're coming in blind. We'll see what we really know.
I think if I had to
Andy's
put,
going to go like 1 for 10 and he's
be
the host of the
embarrassed.
Boston Sports Podcast.
if I had to put like odds on it, I'd say Jesse's like minus 500, and you're like plus 300.
I'd probably put Jesse at like minus 1,000.
All right. That's giving me too much credit, but I appreciate it.
So let's get into it.
Yeah,
How do you feel? NBA's back. How do you feel about how they're going to be finishing
I
the
am
regular
excited.
season?
Couldn't
dude.
be more
happy.
happy.
I just want it so bad.
Yep.
I want it so fucking bad.
I'm beyond horny for sports.
They've been
Oh my
teasing us
God.
like, it was such a great
right?
NBA season,
Right?
and then
it's almost like blue balls. Like the NBA is like stroking your dick a little bit. Like
My guy Tatum was
we're
killing
right
it
around
before
the
the
corner.
break, too. My guy Tatum was killing it before the break, too.
yeah.
Just took
Your
that
guy.
away from him.
Your guy.
My guy Tatum.
No, but it's really been a great NBA season up until now. There's been a shit ton of storylines, good and bad. But
right, like if this had happened when the Golden State Warriors were like just like the like by far favorites
even
to
really
win
care.
the title again, I'd be like, yeah, great,
Whatever.
NBA's coming back.
actually,
The
I'd be like,
Warriors
I don't
are gonna
want it
win
back.
again. Yeah,
This was the first.
cancel
but
their
the fact,
championship.
the fact that this was one of the most competitive seasons to
all for
start
grabs.
in
First year
recent
in a long
memory.
time.
The boys in green have a chance this year. I am super happy.
Jalen Rose said that he's picking the Celtics.
Oh yeah,
as
he's
his
like,
favorite.
because if
To-
it's
at
a
least to
street
come out of the
ball, he's
East.
like, this is going to be
Yeah.
street ball. Like we gotta.
Well,
But
pick
it,
the best
it
starting
will.
five.
It like with all that being said, I am excited to see all teams play fully healthy at this point. Granted, I know that like guys like Kyrie are still hurt, KD's still hurt. Could give a fuck about those guys, but all I'm saying is like I'm glad that most teams have all their players healthy, rested, good to go, and I'm so fucking excited to see them play.
It's going to be competitive too. So what they're doing, they have the 16 teams that are in the playoff slots now, and they're bringing back, what? Is it 3 from each
22
conference?
total teams. No, so it's actually...
Just the 6 random teams that are...
I think there's 5 coming from the West, and then just the Wizards coming from the East or something like
whatever.
that.
I mean, that's fine. Maybe the East is more locked up, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. Those teams are going to be... The ones that aren't already in the playoffs are going to be playing real hard. We're going to see some good basketball. Although, you guys think no fans is going to affect the play a lot?
I was actually just talking to my coworker about it the other day, and like... With most sports, like with football,
yes,
I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
With basketball, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm biased and I love
maybe,
basketball so
maybe
much.
I'm thinking it'll affect... I just feel like these basketball guys can just show up and play. I feel like maybe they feed off crowds less than maybe football or soccer.
Yeah.
Baseball, the crowd's not even into it. So.
I feel like they can kind of just jump in and... Sorry, Dad. I feel like they can kind of just jump in and like and do what they do.
They don't forget how to play.
It's going to be the same basketball that we're used to seeing.
If I had to rank... So hockey, football, basketball with
fan
no crowds,
importance,
I would say I would say not even from the like a fan experience watching the game. I would say basketball will have the least
impact of having no fans.
Of watching the game, of actually watching the game.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying like from a viewership standpoint.
So if I'm watching on TV, I think basketball.
Did you include baseball in that or no?
No,
I mean, that's not even a sport.
Baseball's like golf.
They don't have crowds anyway.
You know what's funny? I'm sure we have like 5 or 10 people listening who just love baseball, and every time we shit on it, they're like, these guys.
Those people can go.
Shout out Brent Gordon and Shane Hollenbeck.
Go screw Brent and Shane.
Yeah. I hope I have permission to use your full name.
So I like that they're finishing the season. I think they're going to play 8 games, something like that, to close things out.
Yep, like 8 regular season, quote unquote, regular season games.
So I was going to say it could benefit the Celtics. You could move up to the 2 seed, but kind of to what you guys were saying before, this is going to be like we've never seen before. These guys are going to have some serious mental toughness, staying in these hotels.
Yeah.
And
some will have their families, some won't.
Yes, I would say for any team that's like middle tier that maybe didn't they weren't one of those hardcore favorites, you should be excited at this opportunity.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because someone that preaches home court, there's no home court. Yeah. And that's why I'm here to say today, the Celtics are contenders.
Hey! I'll drink to that. Yep.
I thought long and hard about that today. It's like, do I really want to say that, or do I want to be an asshole? But I'm going to be consistent. If there's no home court, we've seen them compete with everybody else. Yeah, and I think home court is huge in the NBA playoffs.
The Celtics have some dogs, man. We're out there.
Dick's rooting for the Celtics.
We're ready to see the Celtics make a run.
If I'm Brad Stevens, how are you not telling them, this is our opportunity right now? Some of these teams are going to come here, and they're not going to be able to handle it mentally. They're going to pack it in.
Right.
Not to mention the Celtics are young, so maybe those outside influences or the whole family factor isn't going to hit them as hard.
But on the other side of the coin, with other teams that have good veteran players,
right?
Everybody's healthy, everybody's rested, everybody's going to come with their best stuff, with their best players on the floor, and it's going to be like the Lakers. No, it's like.
LeBron's been pushing for this restart because he's thinking title, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. No, but exactly. like regular season, if none of this bullshit had ever happened, then it's like, would LeBron be healthy? Would AD be healthy? Would a lot of
everyone's
these
at their best pretty much. There's teams
and we don't usually see that because
especially at the end of the season.
By the end of the season, most teams have a lot of injuries.
This could be the most exciting playoffs we've seen in a long time.
And I like the format. Yeah. I like how it's like a little bit of a tournament now.
Yeah. So are they sticking? I did look into this, but I kind of forget. Are they sticking to
East-West? Yes. All right, good. Because I like that. We talked last time that they're going to seed 1 through 16.
You need to keep those conference rivalries alive.
So they're doing the play-in for the 8 seed, which I don't know if you guys really know about that. I have the information.
Somewhat. No, I'd love to hear more about it.
The 8 seed, there's going to be a play-in for the 8 seed
for each conference.
For each conference.
Well,
and
I guess.
So if the team with the 8th best record in its conference is more than 4 games ahead of the team that's in 9th, you've got the 8th seed. But but if they're within 4 games, it's going to be 9 seed versus 8 seed, and it's kind of like best of 3. I mean, not really. The team that's the 8th seed.
Really?
So that's what I'm going to say. The team that is in 9th has to beat them twice.
Oh,
where the other team only has to win once.
So imagine that game, that first game. They're like, all right, we got to beat these guys twice. So we need this game.
Do you know who's on the bubble in that?
So I mean,
it's going to change.
Portland right now, I think, is the 9.
Portland, you got the Pelicans in the mix with Zion.
Memphis.
The NBA wants them and Ja Morant.
Yeah, you got to see Zion.
You know what?
But at the same time, I would love to see Portland.
Portland. Did you see Charles Barkley's quote? He's like, you got to watch out for Portland, man. If they get their 2 big men back, because Nurkic is coming back and Zach Collins.
What if
nobody wants to see them?
What if we talked about anytime we go over any sort of NBA discussion? Who has a star power?
Portland.
Portland's got Dame, CJ McCollum,
and clearly they're hurting with no big guys because that's what they were struggling. That much. Were they in the Western Conference Finals last year?
Yeah, they were, and those are their 2 best big guys.
They've made good runs in the playoffs.
And they're 8 games below.
I mean, sure, we all know they're not going to get out of the West, but they'll make some noise
for sure. But I'm surprised that Portland hasn't made deeper runs, in playoff runs before. But
I mean, they've had some good runs. Dame Lillard's won 2 series for them. They've been conference semifinals a few years and conference finals, but. What I gotta say, also Dame Lillard, if we're staying on Portland, he's kind of been taking a little flack on Twitter. I think he said something like, "I don't really think I'm gonna play." He's gonna have a big chip.
He's one saying
something not quite like that. He's just like, "Oh, if we're doing the bubble and if we don't really get a fair chance to make the playoffs, then what's the point of coming?
This is fair chance.
So now he's driven. He's going to have those boys ready to play. So expect good things there.
I'm so fucking excited.
The 8 seed, 9 seed for the East would be Magic versus Wizards. So that should be
what a doozy that'll be. I don't mind it, even though I think,
Well, neither one of those guys... Neither one of those teams ever really deserve to have like a playoff series, but the fact that they have a chance to play in this,
it'll be fun basketball to watch.
It's great.
Yeah,
from an entertainment perspective, why not? And at the end of the day, they're just competing to lose to the 1 seed, so who cares?
The NBA is doing it right. Other sports should try and follow suit and just do whatever they can to make it happen.
Yeah. NHL's done a good job, though.
Yeah, NHL, sure, they deserve their props.
NHL's on the right track.
I was just gonna say though, minus the MLB because. Honestly, at this point, I hope
MLB's just a mess.
We're gonna get to that.
You're right.
You're about to say you hope the sport dies.
Somewhat, but yeah. I just hope the players get what's coming to them, but we'll get to that.
So anyways, you brought up before about the families down there in Disney.
Sure.
How do you feel about some of these players feeling like it's a big deal for them not having their families? Do you feel for them? Are you get over it?
I feel like you can't hate on a guy for saying I miss my family. I need my family around me. I don't think I can do it with my family not there.
Okay, but they've also had 10 weeks to spend with their family.
You're right. That's a really good. I didn't even think of it in that light.
In a time where they should have been playing, they've had the last 10 weeks or
it's
whatever,
like a whole offseason,
whatever it was that they've spent with their families. They should have no problem with going away
feed off
for
of what you're saying. It's soft.
No, you know what?
It is soft.
I'm not gonna go as far as to call it soft, but I agree with your point that they did have. Yeah,
they've had at the end of the day, time with their families.
You are professional athletes, but it's your job.
But that's why you get paid the money that you do.
None of us have families, so we don't really know how that feels.
Family.
All right, we don't have our own families. Yeah, you're the head of the family. Maybe you are the head of your family. I don't know.
I am.
No, actually, we know it's Tim.
I run the show. Tim?
Shout out Tim. Good golfer.
I don't like to be the guy that brings up the money that professional athletes make and hold it against them. But I mean, you can survive a month or two without your family when you're making that amount of money.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a championship.
Is that about how
long
that the rest of the season will be? Maybe a 2-3 month
end of July to
early mid-August.
October.
October.
Okay, so
the championship. But all those teams, some of these teams are going to be gone from the first 2 weeks.
And so they really don't want these guys leaving the bubble, right? So it's either you're going to have to make accommodations to get your family there, or you're going to be without them for a long time, essentially.
With that being said, if the season ends in early October, when does the next season start?
November. Or I think they're going to
start. No, it normally starts in November, but they're probably going to push it back a month or so.
I can understand.
That's a quick turnaround.
That is a quick turnaround. But at the same time, you've had all this time off.
And they know they got their eyes on the prize. They do. Even the guys who probably are I really want my family to be there. Deep down, I feel like they're ready to get out there and just hustle.
I would hope so. I feel like if I was personally in that position, which is easy to say from my perspective.
You had a strap. You could have made it there.
But you would think if you're with your family for 10 weeks,
it might
be kind of good to get away from the wife and kids.
I know our Celtics boys are ready to go. That's all I gotta say.
If I was in that position, I'd be ready to be all right, well, I've had all this time off. I've spent all that time with my family at home doing fucking nothing. I would be. I want to get out of the house. I'd be itching to get back.
And if you're a middle tier team and you're if you're a 4 or 5 seed, this is my chance.
What
this
a blessing!
Our chance. The no home court advantage, it levels the playing field.
Yep.
And especially how some guys aren't going to be able to handle it mentally if they're not with their families. They're stuck in this bubble city.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're a team like the Celtics. If I'm Brad Stevens, I'm emphasizing mental strength.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Be mentally strong. We can get through these 2 months, and it's going to be worth it. The Celtics are arguably the second best team in the East. They should be there with the Bucks. And like I said, home court, I'm taking the Bucks. That's gone.
Yeah,
that's gone. Milwaukee could not be there. I think this is going to be. I think you're going to see upsets. In this playoffs, I think things are going to be
if
weird.
Any situation sets up an upset, it's this one. All the norms are out the window.
That makes it all more exciting. You know how we all watch playoff hockey?
Yeah, because of upsets.
and how playoff hockey is.
NBA could look a lot like that.
Playoff hockey is probably like the best sport to watch in the playoffs.
Dude, the Lightning got swept.
As the ones
yes.
As the best one of the best regular season teams of all time.
They almost broke the record.
I think they
rolled through every team throughout the regular season, and then all of a sudden it's like the fucking Columbus Blue Jackets come in and they fucking sweep them.
Yeah.
It's like, who would have ever saw that coming? And if we could see that in the NBA, that's awesome. Dude.
So
I'm so excited for it.
So on this note, we have some guys in the NBA who aren't all. Well, we don't really know what their message is, but some people are a little skeptical of this return. Kind of RJ's guy, Kyrie, would be the front runner of that. What do you kind of feel? How do you feel about that at this moment in time?
Can I read one of his quotes?
Yeah, I would love you to. Yeah, read both of them actually.
So, one of the quotes that really irks me about Kyrie, and this is talking about them, the NBA going to Disney World.
Yep.
This is the quote, quote unquote. I don't support going into Orlando. I'm not with this. Systemic or systematic?
Yeah, systemic is the way to say it.
Racism in the bullshit. Something smells a little fishy. So, hey, before we get I want to state I'm all for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yep.
But what the fuck does them going down to Disney World have to do with that? How is that racist? Like, come on, dude. This guy's so out of touch with reality.
I haven't done my research. I don't know why he's saying that, but on its face, it's like, what are you saying, kind of, you know?
I didn't understand what that meant.
Respect.
When I saw that quote, I was like, what? Exactly. I was like, what?
Yeah. He's the perfect example of a guy that thinks he's smarter than he is. He is the most intolerable person on the face of this planet.
He is smart. He is.
No, he's not. He thinks he's smart.
He's well-spoken.
He's a smart dude. He's well-spoken. He went to Duke.
What is smart about him?
I'm not going to hate on him. And I respect that he's for the movement.
Yeah.
And, like, he's doing what he thinks is right. But
I'm not.
I just don't understand that comment. And I don't understand how the NBA returning takes away from what they're trying to do, because if anything, doesn't coming back give them all? They're all going to have a camera all the time.
Which is what
doesn't it give them a big platform?
Austin Rivers said about it.
Doesn't it just give? I feel like it gives them a big platform.
And the quote that came from Austin Rivers, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, it was a long post.
I wish I don't.
We wouldn't even be able to.
I don't have it in front of me, but the way that Austin Rivers phrased it was perfect, and I get it. Like, Kyrie is the voice. I mean, he's
the vice president of the NBA.
One of the vice presidents. They have multiple. He is a VP. That still
is
a good.
He does speak. His
job
is to speak for NBA players.
And I'm not mad about him voicing his opinion.
Not at all.
Like, he has every right to do so.
Yeah, but his opinion is completely delusional.
I just kind of happen to disagree with it.
Maybe between the three of us, it is, but there's probably still a dozen or so guys that agree with that.
There's more. I saw Mark Stein, who's like the lead, he's one of the lead, or maybe it was Mark Stein or Wojnarowski, two of the top reporters in the NBA world. And they said, we didn't realize how many people are actually behind Kyrie's comments.
Sure.
So there is a large chunk
of people.
I'm not going to superstars though.
But
they're not superstars.
But RJ, I'm not going to sit here and say that those guys are wrong for that.
No, and they are entitled to their opinion.
They're entitled,
and they're doing it. In theory, if you look at why Kyrie's saying these things and why people might be behind him, it's like for a good cause, you know. Like they're doing it for the right reason.
For sure.
But I just don't happen to agree with like the NBA coming back.
Yeah,
necessarily taking away from anything.
I disagree with
No, he's becoming a part of the issue when he brings.
says
them going to Disney World is systematic or systemic racism. If anybody's taking away with what's going on or taking away from what's going on, it's Kyrie.
Would he say that if it was any city?
Everybody's talking Kyrie right now.
Would he have said that like if it's any? I just
here's another thing. Here's
What's
another
the history?
thing.
I do wonder if he would say that if he was in contention.
No, he apparently said that he was asking the NBA if he could go down. Because he's going to be an inactive player. And then they told him inactive players can't go down. If you're done for the year, you can't go to Florida. Then he changed his opinion. The dude he's all about himself. He's all about himself. That guy is a horrible human being. I'll say
human being?
I think he's trash. I hate the guy. I've hated him way before this. I hate him when he was on the Celtics.
I know.
The guy is a clown. And he's all about himself.
But I do believe in some sort of sense that he is kind of speaking for other players. I mean, he has to be. I mean, he's the voice of the Players Association. Being the vice president of the Players Association, then he has to be the voice. And I don't have much of a problem with him speaking his opinion. And the fact that there are dozens, if not 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen guys who agree with him, then, who is anybody to say that, like, oh, well, you're wrong for thinking that way? But at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
I
don't know if he'd be saying, like, if Brooklyn was the 2 seed in all this, I don't know if he'd be coming out and saying
maybe for me, it's more about the person it's coming from. I don't find him to be very genuine. I don't trust his word. I don't trust where he's coming from. That's my thing with him. I find that I think he's a very fake guy. He's very self-centered and he's all about himself.
Yeah,
I get that a lot of these guys think that, hey, what's going on is going to take, like, when they start the season, it's going to take away from what's going on in the world. But they're not going to be talking about basketball on all these they're going to be talking about basketball on CNN, on Fox News, I don't really see how the NBA coming back is going to take away
and again, also,
from the news coverage.
I'll circle back to what Austin Rivers said about it, and I feel like players can make more of a difference and can make more of a change and help their cause in this movement that's happening in this country right now. If they're able to play, they're able to make the money that they're owed. Because if they don't play, then these douchebag owners aren't going to pay them, right? So Kyrie can sit back and be like, I mean, Kyrie's talked about starting his own league.
Hey, the NBA, like these NBA players have never kneed during the national anthem. Now's your time. Make a statement.
Okay,
and I fully support that. That's what I'm saying. So come back. That will make it. They'll be talking about that on world news if they come back and they take a knee, which I support and I respect.
Yeah, I would stand. I stand with all of them throughout all of this. But
so do I.
But like Austin Rivers said, like I think that more of them can make more of a change, more of a difference if they are able to get back to what they are paid to do. They can make the money that they're owed. And they can use that money towards whatever they think is a beneficial cause, and I completely agree with that. I completely stand with that.
As do I. And then, couldn't we, especially with sports coming back, couldn't this country use some type of positivity, some type of light to look forward to? This year has been fucked. And we're sick, not even 6 months
worst
in.
year
It's
I
been
can ever
horrible.
remember.
Has there been a month yet this year where something bad hasn't happened?
No.
This year will
go down in history.
This year will be written down in history books.
No. It's going to be a history book.
Kids 20 years from
it's going to be a history book.
Kids 20 years from now are going to be reading about, like, in their history books, about how 2020 was the worst year that ever happened.
People in I heard a long time ago that, like, there's a book called The Prophecy, or someone wrote a prophecy, and they're like, the world will end in 2020, and it's on its way.
So I also heard that the Mayan calendar was wrong.
I heard this as well.
And we have till, what is it, June 21st?
Of 2020?
Yeah.
Until we all die?
The exact date,
because
but I knew it was 2020.
They adjusted it based on, like, the Julian calendar and how, like, oh, well, that was wrong. And I'm, like, kind of sitting back. I'm like, well, dude, like, you can't just say that the world's going to end in 2012 and then be like, well,
whoops, they meant 2020.
Actually, 2020. Like, you get
it's the same date in 2012. If I remember correctly, they were like June 21st.
Yeah, you get one shot.
I didn't sleep that day.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, the world being over in June of 2020 is like, well,
it's not happening.
I've heard this before.
But this year's been fucked.
I kind of hope that the world is over in 2020.
Save me some stress.
That's dark.
Well, I mean, like, dude.
Well,
it's just like, what else could go wrong?
Enough of that.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get into some fun top 10s here.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't like a good ranking, a good list?
Yeah! Great content. Great content. I mean, so,
Perfect
what are we going to do first?
Too.
We'll stay on the NBA wave. We'll do our top 10 NBA players of all time first.
Yep.
I feel like we're all going to have the same top 10.
No,
I don't at all.
I'll go first, so no one can be like, so I'm not like, God damn it, my list was the exact same. Alright, so should I start with 1 or should I start with 10?
Is this in any order? Or
10.
No, this is.
I see you go 10.
I did mine in order. If yours isn't in order, that's fine.
I don't think mine's in any particular.
It's fine.
Close to the order,
that's
but
fine.
It's not
You can do your just top 10, but mine is in order. I will start with number 10. Number 10, I have Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Number 9, Magic Johnson. Wow. Number 8.
Magic's at 9?
Jesse hates Magic.
Number 8, I think he's overrated. Number 8, because he was a better overall player than him, is Larry Bird at number 8.
Okay.
Then I have Shaq coming in at number 7.
Okay.
Bill Russell has to be in your top 10 just because of his accolades and championships.
Okay.
I understand that eras are different, but I have Bill Russell at number 6. This might surprise you guys. I have the big fundamental Tim Duncan in at number 5.
I can't believe you put Bird at 8.
You think I would have put him higher?
Yeah, I have him pretty high.
You have him higher?
He's only got 3 rings. He's lost twice in the finals. But I have Duncan is 5-1 in the finals. I have him at number 5. And he's had a great career, obviously. Number 4, all-time leading scorer in NBA history, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then, I mean, a lot of people will have a similar top 3 to me. My top 3, number 3, Kobe, rest in peace. Number 2, LeBron James, and then my number 1 is Michael Jordan.
All right, I mean, I can respect that.
Yeah.
You mind if I go next, Dick?
Go for it.
Okay, so...
Is this no order?
This is close to the order.
Well, why don't you either just commit to no order or order?
Fine, no order.
Okay.
Number 10, I have Kevin Garnett.
Okay, that's interesting.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Just go on.
Trendsetter, that's fine. It's
I'm
out
all
there.
for a hot take.
I like that. Yeah, it's
Go
a hot
for it.
take.
I'm
Kevin Garnett, I have at 10. I have Tim.
So it is in order.
I have Tim Duncan at 9.
Okay.
I have Wilt at number 8.
Oh, I did forget Wilt, so that's a good one.
I have Kareem at 7. Bill Russell at 6.
I also had Russell. Yeah.
Shaq at 5. Kobe 4. Larry Bird 3. Magic 2. Michael 1.
Where's
always
LeBron?
good.
I don't have LeBron on there.
Ooh, I love that. And he's got a real hot take. He's got no LeBron in his top 10. KG's in there. And he has Magic.
I mean, LeBron probably deserves to be in there, but
he has Matt, though.
This, again, was probably in no particular order.
He has the can't score Magic Johnson in
I
number
respect
2.
That's something I would do.
What?
Is not put LeBron in the top 10.
I fucking hate LeBron.
We were talking.
I try to like LeBron. I really do.
I was just talking to someone about how he's grown on me, but RJ already knows he's been growing on me for years. So I went from really liking him when I was younger to hating him because he was a big rival.
Realistically, he deserves to be in the top 10.
Sure, 9 finals appearances. He
absolutely does.
He's probably going to beat.
But I gotta put all those guys at.
That's fine.
Not ahead of him, but I gotta at least.
I've heard worse lists.
Yeah,
that was fine.
So I go Wilt at 10.
Okay.
Shaq at 9. Tim Duncan at 8.
All big men.
Bill Russell at 7.
Oof.
Magic at 6.
Okay.
Kobe at 5. Kareem at 4. LeBron 3. Bird 2. Jordan 1.
I love you having Bird at 2. You know, I feel bad not.
Him at 8. I would
actually he's 7 for me. I guess no
Bird,
10, 9, 8.
7?
No, he is 8 for me. He just didn't have the longevity. He only has 24,000 career points, and he only has 3 titles. But only player in NBA history with one other person to have 3 straight MVPs, which is a sick feat.
I will admit that I should have had LeBron in that.
It's fine. It's good. No. It's good content.
It is good content.
Okay.
But come on.
Never mind. Fuck LeBron.
Well, I mean, Bird's got some good stats.
No, he does. He absolutely. Averages wise, absolutely.
Hey, listen,
the dude was averaging 29 and 10.
There are a decent amount of people who consider Bird to be the best of all time.
I mean, skill.
Which I don't necessarily agree with.
The problem is he only had his career was literally 9 years long, maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
And his prime was only 6 years but that just goes to. Well, he had a bad back, but that's basketball induced because that guy was flopping all over the floor, diving everywhere.
How many finals has he lost?
He's 3-2 in finals.
Really?
Yeah, he's 3 out of 5.
Lakers.
Yep, he lost to the Lakers in 85 and 87.
LeBron?
No. Yeah, LeBron lost in 85 and 87 to the Lakers.
Right, yeah.
No,
Bird. I was asking about LeBron.
Oh, you were at LeBron's 3-6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3-6 in the finals.
It's a horrible record, but he did make it there 9 times.
I get that.
How much credit do you give him in the Eastern Conference? Where
weak Eastern Conference.
When the East was so weak, and he was also the fact that he should have won probably 4 years in a row in Miami. If he had stuck with, granted, I know that D Wade was on the back end of his career. Chris Bosh,
even. He was still back end of his prime was D Wade.
Sure, but Chris Bosh kind of fell off too because.
You want to hear something I saw on Twitter? It was just that Ray Allen 3-pointer like basically changed a lot of people's NBA histories.
I wanted to put
the Heat would have been 1-3 in LeBron's 4 years. LeBron would be 2-7 in the finals.
Dude, 2-7 would have
changed. It's horrible record. I mean, people would shit on him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he made it to nine finals.
He would be a big old loser.
But
I mean, what did he go through? He goes through the Bobcats in round 1, the fucking shitty Raptors in round 2. Then he beats
like conference has been bad the last 5 years.
It really has.
Those Cavs teams, like how they beat the Celtics.
The best team they had to play in the last 5 years was the young Celtics without Kyrie. Like,
and that's all it took for them. And that team sucked.
And they almost beat him.
And he barely made it through them.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that boy, boy is like a term of endearment. That dude really is the man. Like,
who?
LeBron. Like,
no, I disagree.
No,
he's just the perfect.
I probably should have put him in my top 10.
If you need to put like a body together in a play style to make like the most well-rounded player, it's LeBron.
How crazy?
Steroids will do that.
How crazy is that though? That like I was putting together this top 10 list, and I didn't even fucking like think of LeBron.
I think you're full of shit. There's no way you had to.
No, I believe that you made it real quick and just forgot him.
No, I think you're full.
You did it intentionally.
He did it on purpose.
I forgot Will. I will say I forgot Will. He probably deserves to be in a top 10.
There's so many guys who played this game.
I don't.
That's fair.
If you keep Wilt out of your top 10,
I almost thought about keeping
him out because I put Russell in there. Those guys that played in the 60s.
Hey, we need to educate the youth. Hakeem Olajuwon is the most talented big man of all time.
Hakeem was my 11.
He had the best. He had the best post moves.
I'm wagging my finger into the microphone.
Oh, saying no. Oh, for Hakeem, yeah. Oh, that's the Dikembe Mutombo. It is.
Oh, sorry.
But I still like that reference.
That's what's wrong with the microphone.
The coolest little. I mean, everyone that's listening probably already knows this, but MJ and Dikembe Mutombo go into the locker room of an All-Star game, and Dikembe's like, "Oh, you've never dunked on me, and you never will." And Jordan's like, "All right, Dikembe." And then, like 3 weeks later, he slams on him, and then he wags his finger in his face. Just another reason why he's the GOAT.
I don't know. LeBron's had his. I'm just saying, like he's. The fact that he's what? Would you say 3-6?
He's 3-6, but his numbers and accolades will speak for themselves, man.
I get it. He deserves to be in the
He might go down as if he plays for another 4 years, he's going to be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history with like a 27 points per game average. He's still going to have that like 27, 8, and 8 line. Like,
so do you think that he's like right next to Michael?
In my opinion, yes. Like there's people who have better finals records, and I'm a big guy who harps on like I've shit on him for having that many losses, but all things considered, I think it's him and Michael on a pedestal, and then the rest.
I mean, he is,
or at least it will be that way by the end.
He's got. I think if he really wants to put himself up there with Jordan, not better than him, but like you said, 1 and 2, he's got to get another championship.
That's fair.
I don't see it happening. I think the window's closing on him. If he doesn't get one this year or next year, he's not going to get one because at that point
he'll be like
he's
36, 37. No, he's only 34 right now.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at.
Yeah.
Only 34.
No, don't do Google. Ask Siri. What? Hey Siri, how old is LeBron James?
LeBron James is 35 years old.
Okay. He just turned 35.
34 and 35. Career's almost over. Just kidding.
Wow, 35 and he's 6'8", 250. What a
going
off
specimen. Of our conversation last episode about Drew Brees.
Sure.
Top 10 quarterbacks.
Let's do it reverse now. You can start, then Andy, then me. You can stay in the middle.
Should I go up or go down?
Let's keep it going
10,
down.
10. Yep. Okay, so I reluctantly put Drew Brees in at 10.
Okay.
I did not want to do it.
Yeah,
but I found nobody else that was really worth getting put there. I went Rodgers at 9.
Okay.
Rodgers, Staubach at 8. I just looked up this guy's numbers. Johnny Unitas at 7.
Unitas was like the Peyton Manning of the old day.
The thing is, like, you don't know anything about these players.
No, I know. That's the same thing with the top 10 NBA players of all time. We're so young.
Are you kidding me? I know so much about Bill Russell and Wilt. I used to watch all their footage.
Every day Jesse watches
I
classics on NBA TV.
I will admit I'm biased because I do watch more old school basketball than I do old school football, but like I don't have a fucking clue about
There's
Roger
hardly
Staubach.
footage. Oh yeah, me either.
And Johnny Unitas.
I mean, I know of Johnny Unitas being like a big stat guy, but He slung the ball before people were doing that, but
I guess so.
So I Brett Favre at 6.
So wait, we kind of took a
Breeze, Rodgers, Staubach, Unitas, Favre at 6.
Okay.
Elway at 5. Dan Marino at 4.
Yep.
Manning at 3. Montana, Brady. I almost put
Wow.
Manning 2.
Wait.
I think Peyton Manning's
Can we
numbers
reverse?
are incredible.
There was a name. Can you say like 10 through 6 again? Because there's a name that it was you have Favre at 6. I'm pretty sure we're on the record here. I think we've shit on Brett Favre.
We have shit on Brett
And I think
Favre
you
before.
specifically may have, but we'll let it slide. I think
I might
that's
have.
all right.
No,
That's
I
all
might
right.
have.
It's your list. So
Yeah, it is my list.
and it ended with Brady at 1 and Montana at 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I go here?
Yeah, you can go. Yeah.
All right, I got Rodgers.
At 10? Or is this just no order again?
So I have 9 quarterbacks on my list.
All right.
I
Well,
couldn't come up with 10.
that's all right.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna put Joe Flacco at 10.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
He appreciates that.
Shout out Joe.
And then from there I got Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. I'm putting him on my list early. It's a preemptive list. Because by the time
I love
Patrick
it.
Mahomes' career is over, he will be a
He's
top
already
10.
got the passing
He's got-
touchdowns
he's got-
record,
he's got
an
the-
MVP and a title at like 25.
He's
going to be
it's
threatening
debatable,
Brady.
It's debatable, but
Well, it was top 10
He-
All
right
time.
now.
Yeah,
all
no,
time.
you're right.
okay. Well, I'm just saying
That's all right. We'll let it slide.
he could end his career with being probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Even higher than him.
If he stays on the track that he's on.
Yep.
But I have Flacco, Rodgers, Mahomes. Then I got Warren Moon, because he's the first guy. Like everybody talks about, Tom Brady, Father Time doesn't catch up to him. Warren Moon is the first dude who
Warren
set
Moon's
that standard.
Warren Moon is a Brady hater for the record.
He played in Canada, too.
He played till he was 43 years old in the NFL.
I'm not really sure.
That was back when people were getting killed at quarterback.
Warren Moon. Then I have Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Drew Brees, top 5 quarterback.
You have Breeze before Montana?
Yeah, I do.
Huh? So who the heck do you have?
Can you
still
look?
up there at the
Let him
top?
finish. Let him finish.
Can you look at his regular season numbers, please?
Oof.
Yeah,
Those regular dome numbers.
He's a dome
Yeah.
quarterback.
He is
yeah.
a dome quarterback.
Fuck off.
What has he won?
So
What has
is
he
Peyton
won? What has
fucking
he
Manning.
won?
So is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's a
RJ
dome
will tell you
Peyton
that.
Manning's got 2
RJ will tell you
championships.
that.
How many
I don't
does
give a
Breeze
fuck!
have?
RJ will
He's
tell
a
you that.
dome quarterback.
Breeze has had great teams. He's choked every single
RJ will
year
tell you
he's
that
gone to the
Breeze's
Fuck
title
off.
might be rigged
Fuck
because it was
off.
post Katrina.
playoffs. He
Breeze-
said that.
Oh,
He
you said that?
last
Oh.
I did
episode.
say
Yeah.
that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I love.
I'll use
I love.
it. The championship
Nah,
is rigged.
I love
let's
Drew
hear it.
Brees.
Finish
I
it.
love Drew Brees. Brett Favre.
He's a racist,
At
too.
what?
No, just
like
kidding.
3 or 4?
Brett Favre at 3. Peyton Manning at 2. Tom Brady at 1. Tom Brady's the GOAT.
That is one.
Tom Brady's the GOAT.
That is one unorthodox list. I was gonna say before you said yours, I was like, I'm sure we all have Brady Montana 1 2, but looks like that's not the case. You have Montana at what, 6?
6. Yeah.
Well,
Hey, I'm all for a hot ranking.
yeah,
That's
I
what
love
you're-
it. Looks like RJ's kind of drifting towards normalcy, and Andy's taking his place now.
Exactly.
Coronavirus will
I
do
gotta
that to
pee.
you.
All right, so I guess I'll give you my top 10 now. I kind of regret to do this, but I do have Mahomes at 10.
After Andy stole the thunder from
And
you.
no,
should-
not
you
even
should
no.
go
More
first.
so, it's after we were like, no, this is not a what could be list. It's an all time. Because hey, the dude could. You never know.
No, I
like
think
it's not
he's-
looking like it's gonna ever happen. But like there are situations where guys come in like lit it up, won a Super Bowl, and then we never hear about him again. But
gets
that's not
hurt.
gonna happen with.
I mean,
Mahomes.
I think he'll end
in
up
today's
in the top 10.
in today's NFL, no
If he
chance.
stays healthy, he's too talented to not end up in the top 10.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
already
he's
a
just-
Super Bowl, he's probably going to end up with at least 3.
Killer arm. But so I'll say Mahomes at 10. I'll put the gunslinger Brett Favre at 9. In front of Favre, just because of his stats and accolades, I know he doesn't have a title. We'll put Marino at 8. In front of Marino, I have Breeze at 7. Rodgers deserves to be ahead of Breeze on any list, so Rodgers is at 6. Then I have, this is a guy nobody put them in. I'm surprised you didn't put him. The magic lucky lefty, Steve Young, 2 rings.
True.
Steve Young at 6 for me because he was mobile and he could throw the ball. John Elway. Oh, actually, Steve Young at
I
5.
can't believe you guys both had that horse fucking mouth John Elway on your list. Huh?
He won, what, 2 Super
2
Bowls?
Super Bowls, Rookie of the Year. I think he's got an MVP under his belt.
not to cut you off, but what I noticed looking at some of these guys' numbers, they're really not great. So
it's
look at
a different
league. I know, it's a different era.
It's
but you
hard.
look at their numbers, you're like, their completion percentage is like 56.
You're like, what? He threw 24 touchdowns a year?
That's a lot of them that I saw.
Yeah, and that's like a shit season nowadays.
It just shows how different the game is now.
So you can't take it away from him. Elway is like he was like the golden boy getting drafted. If you've ever seen the 30 for 30 Elway to Marino, it's a good one. But so I have Elway at 4, the boy Peyton Manning at number 3. Everyone loves Peyton, even I do now. Shout out to the match, that was fun to watch.
Dude, Peyton Manning's hilarious.
He's awesome, man. He's so funny.
I mean, I hated Peyton Manning my whole life.
Sure, he was like
growing up.
You hated him because of the rivalry,
right? Because it's like
we always respected him.
Who was better, Brady or Manning? It's like you obviously always want to say Brady, but, and I hated Peyton growing up. I hated Peyton growing up, but you gotta respect him for who he is.
My little Manning story is it was 2006. AFC Championship. The Patriots are up 21-3 on the Colts. I'm a young 9-year-old at the time, 8 years old. I look at my dad at halftime. I'm like, "Oh, it's over." And my dad just like he probably wanted the backhand, and he's like,
"Shut the fuck up!"
He's like, "It's Peyton Manning on the other side of the ball. You don't jinx us like that." And the Colts end up coming back, and they end up getting the Bears in the Super Bowl, and that's an easy win.
The Patriots.
And to round out my top 10, it's Montana Brady at 1.
All right, I get that. So. Going off of your little story there, when we were watching, I was watching the Super Bowl here at my place.
Which one?
I don't think you guys were here.
The Colts Bears?
No, it was
Denver Broncos Panthers.
It was the Atlanta Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
It was against Atlanta, and I had my buddy Craig over, and even after halftime, when they were down 21-3 at half, I think Craig was sitting there, and he's a huge Jets fan. He hates the Patriots. Hates Tom Brady.
I knew it wasn't over too.
And he even admitted like, you guys still have Tom Brady. I'm like, and everybody was like, fuck off, Craig. Like, you can't even say that shit because like,
what do I call those type of people and him too? Liars.
I was just sitting there calculating how much time do they have to score, make a stop, score, make a stop.
I'm saying
you knew deep down the game was over.
I did not.
You're lying to yourself.
I reserved hope. I'm not going to say I thought we were going to win, but I knew there was a chance.
28-3.
I knew there was a chance. We'll leave that conversation.
You thought it was over?
That.
I don't believe you, but
you thought it was over?
Yeah, when it was 28-3, I'm sitting on the couch.
I'm not even lying, Dick. I still held on to hope.
Well, fanboy's not a fanboy.
Well, where did it get us, and where did it get you?
It's half optimism, glass full, half glass empty.
It's
That's
called
just
fake
who we
optimism.
It's not fake optimism.
Yes,
it's real.
No, because it worked out.
It's real optimism.
It worked out, right? We won that fucking game, didn't we?
God damn it! Pour me a shot. No, I'm kidding.
You're sitting over there like, oh, it's over. Oh, we'll never win this game. Oh, I fucking hate everything about Boston sports.
Do you really think I say that when I'm watching my team lose in the fucking Super Bowl?
Every time you say anything about it, that's all I fucking hear.
How did I act when the Patriots lost to the Titans when we were here? I act like a belligerent moron.
Yeah,
I was the maddest out of everybody, but I don't care.
So you didn't have a shred of hope that the Patriots were going to win that game?
Against the Falcons.
Yeah.
No, I thought the game was over. And I think everybody else said you're lying.
You're a douchebag.
You're
no,
lying
we're not
yourself.
lying.
You guys are both
We're not lying.
To yourself.
I literally said at halftime, I was like, we have a chance. The game's not over.
No, that's what you said. Everyone was sitting there all quiet. You're like, no, guys, it's not over yet. In your head, you're like,
yeah, exactly.
In your head,
fun
it's
of us
over.
for it.
In your head, it's over.
Oh, it's not over. It's not over. It's not over. Right. And
in your head, you were saying it's over.
No, we weren't. I wasn't. I still held on to that little shred of hope. And you know what? It fucking came through.
Yep, fake optimism.
Fuck you.
Fake optimism.
Well, that was interesting. How about we move on to this UFC stuff here? RJ, why don't you bring us up to date with this McGregor stuff here?
So, if you even slightly follow the UFC or you just follow on social media or mainstream, you know that Conor McGregor has retired, and I put that in there.
For what, the third time now?
Third time.
Jesus.
So, do you think he's really retired? Do you think this is just... No, you don't think he's really retired?
Are you kidding me? I mean, this guy's going to come back and fight at some point.
Yeah, I think maybe in a couple months...
I don't even know. Like, what's the point of saying it?
Honestly,
it's all strategic. Trying to get them to give him the fight he wants. Trying to get him the money.
The pattern is like he'll say he's retired, then he'll commenting on an Instagram post like, "Oh, like I'll kill this guy," or like,
do you guys
whatever.
have any doubt that he'll fight again?
No, he's fighting.
He's fighting again. Whether it's boxing or UFC, he's gonna be back.
He's just being a salty bitch because he's not getting the Gaethje fight. Because right
He's
now
not getting
UFC
the fight he wants.
Wants to have Gaethje, who's the interim champion, fight Khabib, who destroyed McGregor his last 2 fights ago.
Right.
They want them to fight.
And the funny thing is, he had the opportunity to sign the dotted line for a Gaethje fight.
He took Cowboy, and I said that was an easy fight, and he smoked Cowboy within the first minute.
And now the tables have turned. Gaethje's the guy sitting in the driver's seat, and Gaethje's like, "Oh, McGregor, you want to fight me now? That's really funny. I'm going to fight this guy instead."
No, I think
now McGregor's salty.
I'll just fucking retire.
I think they'll just fucking retire.
In the UFC, Dana White in the UFC, they have created this monster. They've given him everything he's wanted.
I still like him. He's the man. I don't apologize to fucking nobody.
Where's my second belt?
Yeah.
He's thrown fucking hand carts through buses, and they've done nothing to punish him. Nothing.
That's on the police, too.
Well, he did get arrested, but the UFC maybe suspend the guy. Yeah. They loved it. They saw dollar signs. Oh, yeah, here we go, sell a fight.
Yeah, they were probably using that in promo videos.
But like Dana White in the UFC, they love that dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is their sport, though. It's like a dirty, like,
dude. You know what?
The fight game is dirty.
It's different. It's just different than other sports.
I compare it to.
That's why we love it.
I compare it to like baseball, right? Where Mike Trout is by far a generational talent.
Sure.
I mean, he's unlike any player we've ever seen play.
The definition of 5 tool.
But he's boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he doesn't have any
not
personality.
outspoken. Yeah,
and
you don't hear him.
You know why Bryce Harper gets all the attention? Because he's a fucking douchebag.
He's crazy.
and he he draws people towards him. That's why Dana White loves Conor McGregor. That's why the UFC loves Conor McGregor. He's a personality. Yeah. He draws people into that sport.
Like RJ said, they see dollar signs when they hear McGregor. And
exactly.
That's why they'll never punish him because they're afraid that they're going to lose him.
Right.
To give him a little credit.
And you know what? If you have some sort of gripe with that, then that's warranted, and I understand that.
Then you just don't understand that whole dynamic.
But you gotta if you're Dana White and you're sitting in a position that he's sitting in, are you gonna tell him, yeah, no, Conor McGregor's never gonna fight in the UFC again because he got coked up and threw a fucking chair through a bus window or some shit? Would you ever say that?
Jesse doesn't think he was on coke, but I do.
Okay, well, regardless.
Yeah.
My point is that if I'm Dana White and if I'm in that position, I'd be like, well, this guy makes me money.
But now they've created what he is now.
Yeah, now it's almost like he's too powerful to stop.
No, I mean, that's a fair point.
He'll do what he wants.
It's a fair point, but at the same time, like I gotta say, like I'd almost feel like my hands were tied too.
Yeah. Hey, I had a really good point to say about McGregor, but
must have not been that good.
Yeah, you're right.
If it comes to you.
Yeah, well, moving off of McGregor because he's retired, quote unquote. Oh my God, that's tall. Move on to my favorite fighter of all time, Jon Jones, and the BMF, according to the UFC. They had this fight, the baddest motherfucker title. The Rock brought out the belt. Jorge Masvidal won that fight. Both of these guys are in kind of a stalemate with the UFC, if you will, and it's all over money. Jon Jones has been on Twitter basically criticizing Dana White because he thinks that Dana White's lying, saying that Jon Jones has been asking for all these dollar signs, and Jon Jones is like, no, I just want to get paid for my fight. So it's this weird thing.
Who do you believe in all that?
You know, it's really hard to say. Dana White has a history of like underpaying fighters and being kind of skeevy in that regard. So I want to say, and Jon Jones is my guy.
Sure.
So I will say I believe the fighters in this instance, but regardless, so both of them are kind of. Jon Jones said he's done fighting for now. He's like, I'm going to give up my light heavyweight title. Mind you, he's beaten every guy possible in that division. Nobody in that division can challenge him. Like, so he said he's done.
So by that logic, then Dana White is basically saying, like, I'm not paying you top dollar because I don't think you're a top fighter in this league.
He will admit that Jon Jones is arguably their best fighter on the roster, or like the best of all time. But him and Jon Jones have a long history.
If Dana White would admit that, then I feel like Dana White, as the commissioner, would sort of take a step back and realize that he's also making him
so
money.
John Jones,
do what
though,
he has to do to make him get paid.
So, like, the difference between a guy like John Jones and McGregor, Jones has a much better history. He has a much better resume of than McGregor, for instance.
But we're talking about right now.
But no, I'm just trying to highlight the fact of why John Jones doesn't get McGregor money, because he's not really outspoken like that, and he has a history of getting in trouble.
So you think McGregor's an international star too?
Exactly. So
you think Jones isn't making the money that McGregor's making?
Not even close.
Because he's not the character that McGregor is?
Honestly, that's a major part of it.
He's obviously the fighter that McGregor is.
Oh, if it was going off their resumes, Jones would be the highest paid
and a
fighter.
lot of it is pay-per-view points.
Sure.
So how much a percentage are you getting from all the pay-per-view money?
Yeah.
And I bet McGregor's is probably a little more, like his percentage, and his pay-per-views are probably getting
he's more of an attraction.
Because he's an international star.
I would say the only time that John Jones's fights have rivaled like a McGregor card or a McGregor ticket is when John Jones had the beef with Cormier, and they were hyping that up because that was like at the time like the biggest fight of the division's history.
Again, I'll circle it back to baseball, which I hate to do because fuck baseball.
It's like your third time circling it back to baseball.
Again, fuck
you
baseball.
Love baseball.
I hate baseball, honestly. But again, it's like Mike Trout's playing for the Angels, a relatively low market team, not the lowest market team in the MLB.
Yep.
But you know, Mike Trout being the best player that he is, he's also not generating the same money that
excellent comparison.
He's
John Jones
is not
similar to Mike Trout.
The same money that like say Mookie Betts was for the Boston Red Sox, right?
Yeah, or even potentially Bryce Harper
sure.
or anybody who's outspoken in the MLB.
You know, like I can understand where Dana White's coming from in this point, in the sense that, you know, John Jones, as good a fighter as he might be, he's not generating pay-per-view money the way that McGregor is or Masvidal is. So.
It's like a he said, she said. Do you believe the fighters when they say that Dana White's lying, or do you think that
fighters.
I do too. That's what I think. Dana White has a history.
I think the company, they're business guys. They're good business people.
They're great
but
business
they're scumbags.
People. They are. They don't. These guys are risking their lives and getting beat up. They just have a
history.
Right, dude,
I mean, what a crazy living. Like, hey,
they
babe,
love that shit.
Like, I have to imagine like these guys going home to their girlfriends, like, hey, how was work today? And it's like, well, I got the shit kicked out of me.
Their faces all swollen, looking like Rocky Dennis.
When it comes to my whole like the John Jones, Jorge Masvidal situation, it's just the UFC not giving fighters what they're worth, especially what they're putting themselves through.
Well, and
it's not even close to what they're worth. For how much the UFC makes,
dude.
And then Dana White goes to the media and he lies and tries to make the UFC look like the good guys.
That's how I feel.
They do.
He'll take the high road. He'll use some good words.
And it's all about the fight business. It's all about the fight business.
And it's not like any other sport.
Is there's no fighters union. There's no fighters union in mixed martial arts.
So you think you think they should develop a union?
Do you want to hear how bad the pay is?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you
so bad.
Like what UFC makes in comparison to what these fighters are getting paid.
So this was last card.
Yep.
So last weekend, there was a guy in the card who made $14,000.
And he
$14,000.
He potentially could have gotten knocked out and put in the hospital.
That's good money.
$14,000.
I mean, this is a guy who will probably, he might not even have a sponsorship deal. He might only fight 4 times a year. So that means he's making like $60,000 a year.
Who were we talking about though?
He's a low level guy.
They're low level guys, but $14,000
to fight on TV.
Money.
Yeah.
How would you get knocked out for 14?
So, remember the guy we were watching the fight here?
5 times a year?
The guy that was fighting Greg Hardy. Remember when Greg Hardy fought?
Yeah.
How much did that guy make? $12,000.
Really?
On the main card. He
made
$12,000.
On the main card. And the UFC probably pulled in like millions that night. Clear, like
you think
at
millions?
Least. Oh, on one.
Even without
the UFC sold for $4 billion in 2016. That's how much it was worth.
They're big time.
You should never have a
their
guy.
Pockets are heavy.
Risking, and I know
it's a bad look.
That is a bad.
It's like an ongoing battle between fighters and Dana. It's not even all Dana White's fault because he's almost like a figurehead at this point.
It's the matchmakers. It's everybody.
It's everybody. But Dana White goes out and talks, so it makes it seem like
he's the face of the company.
He's the one who has to.
And he is one of the founders, so it is his thing. But like. It's just an ongoing feud.
I think there needs to be a fighters union, and it's going to take. Even though I'm not the biggest John Jones fan, I would love to see him, Masvidal,
these guys
hold
who
out.
are
Hold out. you're going to pay us what we're worth. And Dana White, if anybody ever brings up in the media a fighters union to him, he loses his shit because he knows all the money they'd lose. They're getting away scot-free with how much money they're making. It's disgusting.
He does get really upset at reporters.
And that's why I illegally stream all those pay-per-views. Yep. Yeah, I do it. Oh. Come get me.
I'm never there.
Yeah, I don't participate.
Hey, imagine the light heavyweight division without John Jones. What is it?
That division is trash.
It's already even with.
Is it really like that much?
It used to be the light heavyweight division used to be what held the UFC up. It's the most exciting division because they're the biggest guys. They throw hard, but they're not as big and heavy as heavyweights.
I mean, and you gotta figure that this industry has grown exponentially. Oh
my god! Like if any sport's grown tenfold since 15 years ago, it's the UFC.
If you're charging $100. For a pay-per-view.
And sometimes they make the benchmark is like, do you exceed 1 million buys? Like, essentially, right? Like,
do they for the pay-per-view?
No, he's saying it's $100 to around, it's 65 to buy a card. And their, benchmark for if it's, a really great card or not is if you exceed, 1 million buys.
Yeah, for the pay-per-view.
So that's what? What's 1 million times 65 million?
Well, even if it's 100.
Well, I mean, 65 a card. It's typically what they do for UFC.
I mean, we could even round it up to 80.
Sure.
Because, most of the...
Anyways, that's
not counting everything else.
Yeah, probably making $100 million every good card, and they're still dropping $15,000 to their...
Yeah, that's...
Compared to what other professional athletes are making...
To their gladiators.
These guys are getting screwed. $12,000? Are you kidding me? With taxes coming out, that way you have to pay your coaches. You're probably making $8,000 to get punched in the face.
Yeah, your corner, everyone gets a cut.
Maybe you fight lucky if you stay healthy and fight three times.
To suffer from potential
long-lasting brain damage.
You fight 3 times, you get lucky to make
$25,000-$30,000.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Some of these guys might need another job.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's my own
Pay the baseball players that money. Pay the UFC fighters the baseball money.
Yeah, honestly.
They deserve.
Nobody even makes the fucking nobody makes baseball money.
No, unfortunately, they don't make that money. But hey, like you said, circling back to baseball, here we are. The 30 for 30 just came out. I think it's something summer.
It was what was it? I don't know.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Fuck, what was it called? Like the
long ball summer,
something like that. Yeah, that sounds right. But regardless, that's what kind of inspired this segment. And it's all about steroids in baseball. Because in the 30 for 30, it was Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, guys that are notorious for steroid using in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I think none of these guys, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, etc., Rafael Palmeiro, none of these guys are in the Hall of Fame. Should they be? Should guys that have been known to do steroids, abuse steroids, should they get into the Hall of Fame?
I mean, yes, they should. They should be in there, but there should also be an asterisk on their name. It should be these guys were known for testing positive. But dude, that whole documentary that was about what was going on with Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. I mean, I can't remember the last time baseball was so good, right? Dude, when I was
watching that documentary, the excitement of the home run chase,
home run race, when Sammy Sosa was hitting, Sammy Sosa hit 63 home runs.
McGwire hit 70.
Yeah,
70 home runs in a season,
dude. Since 2009, I think I heard something the other day that it was like in 2001 there were 9 players that hit 45 home runs. Since 2012 or something like that, there have been 9 players who have hit 45. Miguel Cabrera won the home run.
McGwire won the Triple Crown not that long ago.
Okay, but Miguel Cabrera won the home run title in 2012 with 43 home runs. And in 2001, there was 9 guys who hit 45 plus. Dude, I don't want to say let these guys take steroids, because I don't think that sets a healthy precedent for other major sports. Because then all of a sudden, if baseball allows for that to happen, then all of a sudden it's if football players are allowed to do that, hockey players are allowed to do that, then every sport's allowed to do that, and then it's what, because there are guys who don't want to take steroids.
I say let them in. The majority of the guys in that era,
let them in.
Were on steroids.
But asterisk next to the name.
Maybe even not.
Really?
Because so many guys in that era were on steroids. And as much as the MLB doesn't want to accept it, steroids is a part of their history. And these guys, but Barry Bonds, the all-time home run leader, you can't keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
I get it.
When everybody was juicing, the pitchers were juicing.
Sure. I get that. And I respect all that. And I think that these guys should still be allowed into the Hall of Fame. But if you're not putting an asterisk next to their name, then that means that you're inviting players to just use steroids.
Well, the testing is more strict now. That's the thing.
But I get that.
I know what you mean.
But if you set that precedent, that means that NFL players can use steroids, NBA players can use steroids, NHL players can use steroids, and then all of a sudden it's like if you allow that to happen, then guys who respectively don't want to use steroids are suddenly left with a severe disadvantage. Then it's like, what are we really doing?
I just think when you teach somebody young the history of baseball, you're going to have to talk steroids. And guys like Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, they should be in the Hall of Fame. Those are guys...
I'm saying I agree with you, but Dick, you got to understand that like you're setting a precedent into saying that you're essentially saying that it's okay to use steroids.
Back then, yes.
No.
Back then it was. Now it's not. Testing is more strict.
Present day, would you be okay with players using steroids?
No, because the era is different now.
Okay.
The testing was less strict 20 years ago, and a lot of guys were doing it.
So you don't think that players should be allowed to use PEDs?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. Back then, when the era was different.
So because of that,
guys out of the
because of that, right? Because of that, the fact that you don't think players should use PEDs now, then you have to put an asterisk next to their name.
No, because it's about their era. Why?
Fuck that.
Why keep?
What do you mean it's about their era?
Why put an asterisk next to these guys that dominated their era? Yes, they were on steroids of a steroid era. That era was all steroids.
Okay, so then, all right. So remove the asterisk. Are you going to write next to their name, played in the steroid era?
No, they're going to go in the Hall of Fame because they're a part of baseball.
Fuck
they're
that,
a part of the
dude.
history of baseball.
So if
you're comfortable with keeping these guys out of the Hall of Fame?
No, I think they should be in, but I think that it should be known that they used steroids during their time. Because think about it. If I'm a new player, say I'm a guy who's getting drafted out of Vanderbilt, I'm going into the league. Like, I'm like a number 1 draft pick. I've never used steroids in my fucking life. I don't have a chance at hitting 73 home runs in a single season. I don't have a fucking chance. So, because of that, I have no feasible way of breaking Barry Bonds' record. Right?
Different time. It's a different time.
So, okay, but then you have to acknowledge that.
Maybe you can acknowledge in the record books all you want, but they're in the Hall of Fame, no asterisk.
Okay, I get that, but I'm saying, like, how can you let somebody who knowingly basically cheated.
Everybody was cheating though when they were cheating.
I get it. Okay.
So we're going to keep everybody out? Are we going to eliminate that part of the history from baseball?
I'm not saying that. But if you put an asterisk or you at least put in parentheses played in the steroid era, then at least you know that like that guy had a clear competitive advantage. Or you just let steroids run rampant through the league now.
But it's not like it doesn't have to be that because there's
how can you say that though? How can you say that?
Because the game. Hey, sorry, too bad. The game is different then.
Sorry.
So you think that players?
So if I'm Mike Trout and I can't hit, if I'm Mike Trout, I'm again generational.
The
talent.
era was different. Get over it.
Fuck
Get
that.
over it.
You don't. I think they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think they deserve asterisks because people are already going to look at them and say, "Oh, they played in the steroid era," so they're going to have that connotation attached to them.
But 40, 50 years from now,
but if everybody's using
maybe somebody's going to be looking at those records, being like, "Wow, how did Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs in a single season?"
Maybe that'll kind of be the same as how they look at NFL passing records.
I'm going to be the old grumpy guy who'll be like, "Well, he took fucking steroids."
If everybody's taking steroids, it's a level playing field.
I get that.
You're talking records. You're talking more records. I'm talking about getting in. So the records are another thing.
No, but records should be an even playing field throughout history.
It's hard. That's why baseball is a fucked up and tarnished sport. You don't see these type of problems in any other sport. I'm sorry, you just don't.
All-time records should be
sacred.
Should be a level. Yeah, sacred in the sense that it should be a level playing field.
But if you look in the record books, all-time home run most home runs in a season, most home runs all time. It's still Barry Bonds.
So you kind of hinted at this. Should they let steroids back into the game to make it more exciting?
That is a tough door to open because aren't steroids aren't they illegal in just everyday life? Like they're criminal.
Well,
it's a drug. I think it's whatever type of.
No, because I mean, like,
no, it's a class something drug. You're not allowed to use steroids like that.
Okay, yeah, nobody does. Nobody smokes pot. Nobody's. I mean, pot's not a good example, but like nobody does coke. Nobody does heroin.
No, I'm just saying, like.
Okay, I get that. But my point being is that if you're gonna have your name etched in the history books as Barry Bonds, who hit 73 home runs. Nobody's ever going to touch that unless they're allowed to do steroids. Right?
Probably. I mean, they're juicing
right?
balls. They're juicing
no one's
balls.
Gonna touch it. No one's going to touch
it. You're right. People are lucky to break 50 home runs nowadays.
So with that point being made, again, Mike Trout comes into this league. He's a generational talent. He's probably one of the... He's going to be the best baseball player that we've probably seen in our generation, right? He's
numbers-wise. He's never touched the playoffs.
He's never going to hit 73 home runs. Right?
70. It's the record 70.
No, it's 73.
Barry Bonds hit 73.
Yep, 73.
Really?
Yeah, 73 home runs, bro.
Oh, so he must have broke the record after.
He did.
Oh, okay.
He did. So by that logic...
I think it's called long ball summer.
So by that...
That's what it was, yeah.
Yes, you're right. That's exactly what it's called. But by that logic, then you have to admit that like those players deserve an asterisk next to their name so that people know, like, oh, how
did he do that?
40, 50 years from now, kids are, like, looking at history books like, wow, Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs? How did that ever happen?
So that'll be your job as dad to be like, well, son.
No, it's not my job as a dad.
Oh, you want
it's your job. It's your job as the fucking history keeper.
Okay, well, I guess if that's what it takes for him to get in, sure, I'll let it happen. I don't think it's right, but
I think it is right. I don't understand.
RJ brought up a good point. I think the home run king needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame,
so
but I believe...
So if you go to Cooperstown, or whatever the fuck, Cooperstown, so what, is there going to be a fucking asterisk next to the guy's fucking
plaque?
Jersey?
Yeah.
On his plaque?
Yes.
But that's stupid. And
why is that stupid?
I need to get this out in the middle of this.
Took steroids. That's stupid. No,
I need to
because he had a clear competitive advantage. Barry Bonds had a clear...
He had no competitive advantage.
What are you talking about?
They were all taking steroids at the same time.
In his era. But if you compare Barry Bonds...
That doesn't matter, because we're not talking about records. We're talking about getting into the Hall of Fame.
I'm talking about records.
Let me get this in real quick.
Okay, we're not even arguing about the same thing.
Steroids or not, it still takes... Barry Bonds, it takes talent and skill to hit home runs. Like, yes, you hit the ball a little farther.
Understood. I get all that, and that's why I believe
people don't understand that though. They really don't.
No, and I get that.
It's
and
not like steroids are hitting
the
home runs, you know?
Right. Fucking Lou Ferrigno could get up there and if he knew how to hit a baseball, then he could jack 80 home runs in a season.
Obviously not, it's like...
But like, what I'm saying is that, like, if you're listed in the history books of all time as the all-time home run hitter, and you were known to take steroids, then it's like, how is anybody who comes into the league afterwards ever going to beat that record? Nobody's ever going to beat that record.
That's
because they can't
take steroids. That's a baseball problem at this point. Like, that's why
they can't take steroids, right?
Even though I've said a lot about steroids, I don't think it should be in today's game.
You don't, but like my main argument was that, like, do you think that there should be an asterisk next to it?
The records, yes. Hall of Fame, no.
Okay, I agree with RJ.
Yes, I agree with that.
RJ. Okay, so we were just arguing for no reason for 5 minutes. Yes. Whatever.
Well, you said just a minute ago that you don't think that there should be an asterisk next to it.
I think we were confused. For the records, sure. Hall of Fame, no.
For the records, yes. For a single
they're going to know enough.
For the single season record and for the all-time record, Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the all-time home run king, dude.
Yeah. By a long shot,
dude,
too.
If he took steroids, dude... You still,
here's what I gotta say.
You still have to be so good.
Here's what I gotta say. If he didn't take the steroids, he still was gonna hit over 600 home runs, probably.
Maybe, yeah, I would agree with that.
Because there's people who hit 600.
I would say
he hit like 770 or something. Yeah,
756, I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah.
At least 550.
Babe Ruth
still a lot.
Babe Ruth had 700 something, and he was Hank Aaron. Sorry. Hank Aaron had 714.
Hank Aaron 714, yeah.
And
he did no. You saw how skinny he was. He wasn't touching roids.
Okay. So like the fact that Barry Bonds beat that record
lot of his home runs were pre-steroids,
with the help of... Dude, take a look at Barry Bonds when he was in his rookie season.
It doesn't take a simp to notice that he took steroids.
Just saying,
But that speaks to his talent because he was still like a 30 home run, 30 stolen base, 310 batting average.
Yeah, he was great. He was great. But the fact that he's hitting, 73 home runs will never happen again.
Okay, right now though, quickly right now, is baseball coming back?
No, I hope not.
Honestly, after the recent thing got shot down, apparently it went right to the owners again. I must have said this last episode. Talking about a new deal that got proposed by the Players Association. The owners shot it down in a heartbeat once again. I don't think baseball is coming back. Even the commissioner doesn't think baseball is coming back. Baseball is not coming back.
Well, within the last 24 hours, they finally had a face-to-face meeting between Rob Manfred and Tony Clark, the head of the Players Union. And it looked like they were making progress like 8 hours ago. And then something went wrong where I think the counter or the offer was like 65 games, and the players countered with 70, and the owners aren't happy. I think the sport's coming back. It's made us hate them. We already hated the sport before.
You think it is coming back?
I think they're going to come back and they're going to play 50 or 60 games. It's going to happen in the next week or two.
Okay,
but
so
as the days go by, I become less confident.
They're running out of time.
So
they need to get spring training or summer training.
If they want to play 50 or play 60 games, they have a little less than 2 weeks. And I think it'll get done. I'm not confident. I kind of want to say
You think there's too much to lose for both sides?
And I think they're starting to get up. There's been a lot of bad PR. I think they're staring to feel it. I wouldn't be surprised.
They know their sport's in trouble a little bit.
Within the next 3 to 4 days.
It was in trouble before any of this even happened. I mean, baseball is pretty much a dying sport. But tell me this. If you're an owner... Say you're fucking John Henry or whatever, any owner of a baseball team. You see that your players are only playing 50 games out of a normal, 182, right? Is that what they play?
162.
162. So they're playing 50 games. Do you want to pay them, as an owner, do you want to pay them 75% of their salary? Or... Because I gotta say, and I hate siding with any billionaire owner asshole because these guys have more money than they know what to do with, and for some reason they're still tight-fisted. But
it's hard to take. It's hard to take what side because initially I was fuck the players. Now, fuck them all. This is their perfect opportunity to come back 4th of July weekend and be, hey, we're America's pastime. We're here on 4th of July. We're back. Sure. 3-4 weeks before everybody else, and they would have killed it all month. And they even if they come back, they've failed. The damage is done.
Oh, yeah,
they've looked horrible in this whole situation.
They've failed hard.
The owners have looked bad. The union has looked bad.
My point is that I think the owners agreed to pay 75% of their prorated salaries.
It's something like that.
And dude, if you're only playing 50 games and you're getting 75% of your salary, you should. If I'm a player, I'd jump at that.
So I think it's 70. So no, I think the prorated salary is cut in half. So I think when they say prorated, I feel like I'm not talking out of my ass a little bit. When they say prorated, they mean, so say they play 60 games. The prorated salary is what they would get paid for 60 games, then 75% of the 60 games. You know what I mean? Okay. That's what I think it is. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Because it's confusing.
But still. What's the alternative? You don't play and you don't get paid anything?
It's just who's going to cave. It's just a cat and mouse game. That's all they're doing.
It is, yeah.
Honestly, baseball, waste of our time.
I mean, it is, if we're talking in a serious manner,
I was kind of joking, but
if we're talking in a serious manner, then it's yes, I get it that you're getting paid 75% of your prorated salary for the 60 games that might be played. I get how that would upset some players, but at the same time, it's well, dude, you're only playing 60 games, and yeah, it might suck for guys who are only getting paid $3-4 million for the season,
if not less. Some of these guys,
but it's really the difference between Mike Trout making $33 million compared to $15 million. I get that. And I'm not so naive to think or to not understand that the fact that these guys live their lives on
just to end things, it's all going to come down to who's going to be the bigger person, and maybe lose the debate, lose the negotiations a little bit. But if they're both gonna, it's like two cars coming at each other playing chicken. Yeah. Who's gonna back out first? And maybe they're just gonna stay on, and they're gonna collide, and the season's gonna get canceled. If it does,
I don't know.
It's whatever.
I don't know. But I could give a shit. Fuck baseball. Baseball's fucking lame.
So, Jesse, your favorite segment, the betting segment, and we got Premier League Edition.
Yep, Premier League Edition. I already know Andy didn't get anything, so
I'm gonna let you guys know.
He'll just let us rock.
We'll go quick.
Yeah, we'll get it done.
You got a parlay? You want to go into?
I actually have 2 bets, so I don't have a parlay, but I'll say my bets here. So these are all odds based off Bovada. My first bet is this is games happening tomorrow. It's probably the best game of the weekend. Tottenham United, both are in the top 6. Mourinho against his former team. My club, Man United, going at it. Finally healthy, by the way. We got Pogba's back, Rashford's back. We have a sick midfield pairing in Pogba and Bruno. My bet here is Man United to win by any of the 3 scores, being 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1. All extremely common scores in the Premier League. That bet is plus 250, so if you put $100 on it, it would pay out 250. My second bet is Anthony Martial, anytime goal scorer in this game, at plus 145. Two hittable bets if you're trying to make some money.
So I have a parlay of the week. Pick of the week, my parlay. Crystal Palace to win or draw, plus 110. They're going against Bournemouth.
That's definitely doable.
I got United. They're going to just not be there mentally coming out of the break. I got Spurs plus 0.5. Minus 140
for goal. They're for the spread. Yeah.
And then I have just Liverpool to win money line minus 175,
which is obviously happening. They're trying to win the league.
To win 230 is what it would pay out.
Okay.
Then my lock is for Liverpool versus Everton, the over for total goals of 2.5. I think Liverpool could easily rack in 3 goals themselves.
My God, they've been waiting. That team is going to smash records this year. I could easily see them coming out and putting a 4-banger on Everton or something. So I like that bet, RJ. I really do.
Okay, so
and Andy doesn't follow soccer, so
he'll sit this one out.
Hey, you read it? Don't.
Let's get to it.
You
should,
what
everybody's been waiting for. Boston sports trivia. Took us a while to get
here. RJ even got a couple whiteboards for us, just for those who aren't here.
Jesus.
So I think what's going to happen is what you're going to say the question. We're going to write it down.
Like the newlywed game.
Yep. So I have 10 questions.
Fuck. I'm gonna cheat.
No, you're not.
What?
That's not happening.
Phone's on the table. Phone's on the table.
No cheating.
All right. I got it.
So I have 10 questions. It's Jesse versus Andy. God damn it. The winner will face me at a time to be determined in a different episode.
Another episode,
episodes from now. And if you get the question right, you get a point.
And mind you, I would be the favorite, but RJ created this, so it's just me and Andy in the first round.
Jesse's heavy favorite against Andy. Against me, underdog. But that'll be decided at a different time. But I'm going to give you guys a minute to answer each question. No further. If you don't have your answer in after a minute.
A minute should be good enough for me to look up the answer.
I'd say it should be like 30 seconds. But
30 seconds?
We'll come up with our answers pretty quick, I bet.
Okay. So, you guys...
I'm sure it won't come into play, is what I'm saying.
Tell me when you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go,
good.
Man.
Let's go.
Oh, you're doing... Andy's holding his board horizontally. I'm holding mine vertically. But he just switched after I said that, so... All right, keep the paper away from me. I don't want Andy to accuse me of cheating.
Currently, who is... Also, if you're listening, play at home.
Yeah,
play along
play
at
along.
Home. Currently, who is Boston's longest tenured athlete?
Between
all sports. Who's been here the longest?
Are you done? So it's Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots...
4 major.
Bruins?
Yep.
Longest tenured athlete. Fuck. You know that, Jesse?
I have a really good guess, but I don't know for sure.
This obviously happened after Brady left.
Yeah,
Brady was the longest tenured before when he left in March.
So it's not Brady.
It's not Brady because he's not a Boston athlete.
Erase that real quick.
Yeah, you run out of time.
Well, hold on. We have a minute.
Well, I only need 30 seconds.
That's fine. We'll do a minute then.
Okay.
But I'm sure we won't need it for every question.
I mean, I would hope. He's scaring me early here. This is kind of a tough question.
No, it's not easy.
He's writing.
All right, let's go.
Oh, it's funny.
3, 2, 1.
We have
Reveal.
the same answer.
Reveal. 3, 2, 1. Both wrong.
Wow.
Oh!
We both said Zdeno Chara.
The correct answer was Patrice Bergeron.
Really?
Yep.
Longer than...
He was a youngster when he came to the Bruins, so that's like one of the ones where you really... I was kind of confident in my answer, but...
That was a good guess.
That was pretty...
Bergeron was in the back of my head. I just pictured...
been here longer.
Chara did play for other teams before, right? I'm pretty sure, yep. All right, so RJ stumped the Schwab on question 1.
So, who has more all-time receiving yards for the Patriots? This is multiple
choice. Wait.
So,
hey, how about we'll do an X if we get the question wrong. We'll do a check mark if we get it right. So 2 X's on our boards here.
I'm keeping track.
Oh, you're keeping track too? All right, well, I'm doing it anyways.
Who has more all-time receiving yards for the Patriots? This is 3 guys, multiple choice.
Okay.
Is it Edelman, Gronk, or Wes Welker?
You good?
Yep.
I'm
3,
good.
2, 1. Jesse got that correct. It is Gronk.
Andy said
picked
Welker.
So that's...
I love these whiteboards. You guys don't understand how much...
Fuck!
You guys don't understand how much RJ does for the show. These whiteboards just... Awesome.
You picked Gronk?
Yeah,
I was surprised by that when I read.
I thought it was.
I knew
I thought it was going to be.
Gronk has a lot of years where Gronk has a few years
Edelman.
where he's put up like 1,300 yards and only like 6 or 7 touchdowns. So.
Hey, and if you're listening and you want to be honest and hit us up and how you did, what your honest score was, I'd love to hear your feedback.
Please.
Whether it's through our DMs at the JDA
but
show.
If you do really good, we're going to be like,
all right,
lying,
Jesse's got one on me.
So this is a little bit of a callback. Who owns the Boston Bruins?
Oh my God.
We've talked about him.
No,
I know we have.
Before.
We ripped him. We ripped him
for not paying his employees. I really thought you were going to know it because you ripped all over him.
Fuck, his name is eluding me though. God,
he's the least known owner out of all 4. Hey, get the fuck off your computer.
I'm just keeping the computer screen aligned.
Okay.
So if like the spelling's wrong or like the first name's a little wrong, like as long as
that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Did you look at my board?
Nope, I just remembered it.
We could both
Ready?
be wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Jeremy Jacobs.
Andy's correct.
Oh,
Jesse said Peter Chiarelli.
Is that the GM?
The GM right now is Don Sweeney. That was the GM before Don Sweeney.
Okay, so all right.
Yeah!
Things are tied up.
I wasn't too attached to that.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's an X for me. So we're both
tied.
1 for 3.
1-1.
Good questions so far.
Who did the Bruins defeat for their 2011 Stanley Cup championship? This should be an easy one. Andy's hesitating. This is why I said Jesse has a big favorite. But hey, he's hanging in there. 3 questions in.
I'm nervous if I lose. I really want to take RJ on, so who knows what Andy will come up for questions, though.
Yeah.
Good?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
So Andy said the Chicago Blackhawks. The correct answer is what Jesse said, the Vancouver Canucks.
I know.
They lost to the Blackhawks in what, 2013?
Yeah. 2013. So
yes, I thought you had that too.
Jesse takes a 2-1 lead.
Through 4. All right.
Now we'll have a Celtics question here.
Ooh, good luck, Andy.
What number pick was Marcus Smart? Both quick to write it down.
I know it.
I do too.
You
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Both correct. Both with 6.
Good job, Andy.
That's
good job.
I like to see that.
Good job. That's good for you. And good for both.
Yeah,
I like the quick confidence
buddy.
by both of you guys too.
Mid-round? No, actually. No.
Okay. Who was the head coach of the New England Patriots before Bill Belichick?
That's too easy.
Is it though?
I think it's.
Is
I think
it?
there's an answer that we think it is.
Ooh. Oh, that makes me question.
Is it easy?
That makes me question
I think some people would think they know what it is.
I mean, I'm not confident in my answer, but I don't have another name, so this is what I'm going to put.
Wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it.
I almost know that I'm wrong, but this is the only name I can come up with. So.
Same.
Jesse is correct. The correct answer was Pete Carroll.
I was gonna fucking write that. Fuck!
Andy went with Bill Parcells, which is why.
That's
why
Pete Carroll, right?
That's why I put that question.
I wanted to write Pete Carroll, and I was like, no chance that he coached in between that. I thought Pete Carroll might. Fuck!
Good luck coming back from a two question deficit.
Shut up.
With three questions left to go.
No, 4, right? We're through 6. Maybe you only had 9.
We're on
but
7.
We're going on to 7.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, wait, sorry. Yeah, there's 4.
Yeah,
4.
right.
My bad.
I like your questions so far. You're doing good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who holds the record for most single-season home runs for the Red Sox? So just play for who has the most single.
We don't need the number?
Nope, just who it was.
I'm going to put the number.
Oh, yeah. Nice day.
Fake extra credit. Wow, Jesse with David Ortiz, 54 on the dot.
With the heart, too, because I knew it.
Do you know what year it was?
It was in, off the top of my head, I'm going to say 2006.
Correct.
Let's go.
Jeez, what a douchebag.
I'm a stats buff.
What a homo.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed by that one. So, 3 questions to go. Andy's got to get lucky here. So, this is it's a 2-part question. You just have to give me one of the answers.
Okay.
2008, or you could say 2007, the Celtics traded for the Big 3. I ask you, who was the key player in the deal to acquire Ray Allen, and who was the key player to acquire Kevin Garnett? So you can write down both what you think. If you just get one of them right, I'll give you credit for the question.
Said we only need one. I definitely know one. Put the pressure on you, Andy.
I don't know.
You don't know?
1 sec.
I think I have an idea on one of them.
So?
1 sec. I'm going to put 2 just in case. Alright, I'm ready. Are you?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. I'm not.
You said Kevin Durant for Ray Allen?
That's incorrect.
It would be Jeff Green, right? Or
yeah,
not?
I would have said Jeff Green.
Do I get credit?
Jeff Green?
Ryan Gomes or
I
Sebastian
mean,
Telfair?
I was more looking for Al Jefferson.
Oh, that's... he was the key piece, and you did say key piece. I don't think I get that right.
We technically...
So I'm doing both wrong.
For the record, though, I did name players, or at least one player that was in the trade.
They both were in the trade.
Okay,
they
so
both were.
I said Ryan Gomes and Sebastian Telfair.
Didn't we technically trade KD's pick?
No, Jeff Green.
No, because it was after the pick was made.
We got screwed out of the lottery.
Yeah, we were supposed to get top 2 pick. Yeah.
Okay.
I did name players in the... Oh, that's... Yeah, how did I forget Big Al, man? That I should have got that one.
Okay, 2 questions left. The Red Sox have 10 players with retired numbers. Give me 4 of those players.
I don't need their numbers, just their names?
Just their names. I don't care about the numbers. This is probably an easier one. There's a couple guys on here, though, that you probably wouldn't guess. But obviously all you need is 4 out of 10. By the way, all these questions are made up by me, not on the internet. I did these all myself.
They're honestly, you were a little worried before going into it, like they're too easy. They're really good questions.
It actually took me a while to come up with them too, because I was like, what's the right question? I had to come back to the computer a few times. Andy looks like he's doing a fucking math question over there, looking at that whiteboard.
Shut up, pussy.
I'm going to need the timer on this one because I have 3 names written down. I'm just trying to find 4 here. No, not good.
I'll give you another 30 seconds.
Sure, all right.
This can make things interesting because this last question I think is really good. Really will test your memory. Like specific memory.
I mean, I see a lot of X's on my board.
And by the way, while
I think I got it.
Follow us at the JDA show.
At the JDA show.
All right,
ready?
3, 2, 1. Okay, so Andy had Ted Williams, Nomar, Yaz, Collier Skrimsky, and David Ortiz.
Nomar is not retired.
That is incorrect.
Nomar's
is
not retired?
You should have put Jim Rice.
Sure? Jesse had Ted Williams, Collier Skrimsky, Jim Rice, David Ortiz. That is correct.
Nomar's not retired?
Nope.
Damn.
So that gives Jesse the victory.
But I want to do the last one.
We will do the last one.
Because you said it's a good question.
Nomar's not retired?
So I'll read the 10.
I don't think he had the longevity with the Sox long enough. But if he stayed with them a few more years, he would have been retired.
10 guys that were retired.
Yep.
This guy named Duar or something. Cronin, Johnny Pesky, Yaz, Ted Williams, Jim Rice, Wade Boggs, Carlton Fisk, Pedro Martinez, David Ortiz.
Pedro, I was questioning if I should put Pedro or not.
He's the latest guy to get retired.
The one that I was like, I have 3 and I don't know the last one. It was Ortiz. I was like, he just got his number retired.
So last question. This is just for hoo-haws.
Yep.
This Patriots running back had 11 catches in their Super Bowl win against the Seahawks. Who was this running back? This would be at least on your way out if you get this right. Confidence booster.
Hold on.
Jesse's doing long division over there. A lot of writing.
I have my backup. I know it's not going to count, but I want to get credit if I have my second option there.
I'm not going to say I was going to say because I can give it away.
And this is their 2014 title.
Correct.
Yeah.
Obviously, Malcolm Butler.
Yep.
Pick off.
Probably the most hyped I've been in watching a football game ever. Because we all thought it was over when...
just thought it was going to be another Patriots loss. It wasn't Baldwin. I forget who caught that ball off the tip. I don't remember his name either. More racing by Andy. Even though it's over, he really wants to get this one right.
6. I'm already happy with 6 out of 10, but 7 out of 10 I would be very happy with if I can get this one.
Hold on.
I've never seen a man look more confused than what Andy looks like right now.
Well, in the meantime, I'll take my little green tea shot here.
If anybody has any recommendations for the show, segments we should do,
we love to hear from you.
Any type of advice or constructive criticism, let us know. We'd appreciate it.
3, 2, 1.
That's my backup.
Shane Vereen is correct. Jess, they both had Deion Lewis.
Deion Lewis was my number 2.
But yeah, the correct answer is Shane Vereen.
7 out of 10. I love my trivia, baby.
So that went exactly how I thought it would go. Andy was absolutely destroyed. He put up a good fight,
he
though.
did. It was close in it for a little bit.
He was only down by a couple 2 questions going into the last 2.
Well, you know.
He hung in there.
That was fun. Good idea.
I'm not good at trivia.
It was a win-win for you. You showed up. You did well.
Now you get to host. Now you get to make the questions and host the next one.
I'm gonna come up with fucking.
We'll do that a few episodes.
Yeah. And maybe if you guys want to chime in and be like, "Hey, who you think's gonna win?" That'd be cool too.
Or if you have any questions that you want to give me and Jesse for next time.
No, you give them to Andy.
We actually.
Andy.
So you would. What's your Twitter handle? Is it @Andy_GIF?
Yes.
If you have any questions that you want in on the next, we'll give you credit too if you give a good question and Andy thinks it's worthy. So send them on into not the JDA show page.
I want some hard.
If you send them to the Twitter handle,
questions.
If you send them to the page for the show, me and RJ will see them. So you have to send them to Andy_GIF.
Well, we'd love to have you guys interact.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
So before we go off topic, I just have a quick question for you guys.
Sure.
If somebody came up to you and they had the power to make you immortal, and you'd stay middle-aged for eternity, would you do it?
No, because you'd have to watch your friends and loved ones die. So I would have to say no.
I would say yes.
Yeah,
but that's equally cool, and like you get to
if
live forever.
If I could live forever at like 35,
yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Pretty much 35,
35 to like 45.
You'd see everything. You're never dying.
Yeah,
you do it. See,
you'd have a lot. You'd probably be able to rack up a lot of money by the time you're like 45. By like the 200th
you guys
year.
Wouldn't do that?
No,
I'd probably.
It would be. You
guys would just die.
Yeah, because everyone that you've known from
you'd be with your wife, and your wife would grow old, and you'd be 45.
Get over it.
You ever seen The Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
I'm not acting hard. Just get over it.
Hour 32. This is everyone.
Okay,
we appreciate your viewership. This is 100% our longest episode.
I actually have
arguably
our best episode.
I actually have a good.
We get better as it goes.
Yeah,
so
we would like to hear it.
I mentioned it before we started the episode.
Sure.
I mentioned that I had to poop real bad at work today, and I went to this gas station that I know is a good pooping spot. And you know why? because they have one single bathroom.
So the toilets
you lock yourself in.
Could be a good or bad thing there, but
how is that a bad thing?
Because everyone's blowing that one seat up.
Okay,
no, that's
listen
not
to me. Listen to me.
Oh, because waiting.
You have one bathroom. You have one toilet. You can go in there. You can just have the time of your life. Nobody's around you. You have no pressure on you.
I think
it's actually this gas station in Whately, South Deerfield. South Deerfield.
You saying that?
I go there all the time to poop. I will go out of my way to go there to poop because it's one bathroom. It's one toilet.
Let RJ say his point because I agree with him.
So
how do
you're making it up in your own head like there's nobody right outside that door waiting for you. If I'm in a single toilet, so just like a regular bathroom you walk into, and I'm taking a dump, and I don't
want to have to rush.
Yeah, exactly. And some dude could just be trying to take a piss, and they're just waiting out there for you.
But if you know it's low activity, if you know it's a low activity bathroom,
okay, so you feel comfortable with the fact that like you're sitting on a toilet?
No, I don't. But I feel more comfortable than I would.
Get
out of here!
I would rather there be 5 stalls, and I can have like my special little third from the last.
Okay, so
stall.
you're okay with the fact that like you're sitting there, you're taking a shit, like
sure, I don't mind if I hear another guy's plot to my right. Whatever.
Somebody walks within distance of me and you, and the only thing separating you and I is this fucking plastic
wall. Well, if you choose the one next to
me,
I'm going to think you're weird anyways.
Are you afraid someone's going to come in there on you?
No, I'm not afraid of that, but I don't want fucking anybody near me when I'm taking a shit.
See,
how is that even debatable?
I don't like that either.
How is that even debatable?
But I will take that over feeling like I'm holding up the entire gas station.
Okay,
going to the bathroom.
This isn't a very busy gas station.
Well, that's what I said. If it's a slow bathroom, then that's not a bad pick.
That's a great pick.
I would rather there be a few stalls there, so like...
You'd rather be a few stalls so people can come in and interrupt you while you're taking a shit.
Are you insecure about your shitting or something?
That's what I'm getting
sometimes, yeah, I have some pretty bad poop sometimes.
Alright, do you have anything you want to get to?
No,
I mean, you guys are just going to cut me off on that like that?
Yeah, you made your point, I made mine. Hey, if you want to...
I don't want to end the show with a lot of shit, all right?
If you want to give us your feedback on that, feel free to DM the show.
Yeah, I think
let me know where your bathroom's at. Andy may want to hit it up on his drive.
I think I'll do a separate episode about
the best toilet situation.
Solo podcast. Yeah. Okay, as always, we appreciate you listening, and we will talk to you soon.
Yep,
hopefully next week.
Yep.
Take care.
Yep.
Good work, boys.
Tell
me you already hit it.
Love you.